Hey, yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Phoenix Pals Podcast, aka P3, episode 9. In this episode, we're going to be kind of summarizing everything Madden 17 released over the past couple of weeks. Interviews, blogs, gameplay by the Game Changers and stuff like that was released on YouTube. We're going to be talking about all that stuff and how I feel about every single thing here going into Madden NFL 17. If you haven't done so, make sure to follow me. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/TheBlackPhoenix. YouTube, if you're watching this, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got more content coming on the way. And also, if you're listening to this via Blog Talk Radio, make sure to hit that follow button. That'd be greatly appreciated. This episode 9 is going to be the last episode of season 1 of Phoenix Pals Podcast. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but we will have season 2 lined up here in the next couple of weeks. I just got to find some technical issues on my part, fix those, and add some small little changes here in there to make the show a little bit better. We have a new intro, there's going to be a new outro, and there's actually going to be a new design going to be for the show. So that way I'm not just basically copying and pasting the EA photos and stuff like that. I mean, they're helpful. I know you guys tend to like them, but I like to have my own logo up there. Even if it's just consistently up there, it's just there. So if you haven't done so, make sure to stick around for season 2. That's going to be coming up once again in a couple of weeks. And hopefully in a couple of weeks, we will be hearing some more news and blogs and stuff like that. Mainly, hopefully, Madden Ultimate Team comes around. I know we've been kind of missing that news as far as Madden 17 is concerned. Also, hopefully we get some more rankings, ratings, stuff like that usually get released around this time in July, even early August. Top 10 quarterbacks, top 10 running backs, top 5, all that stuff. So we'll see how that all plays out in the next the upcoming weeks as more news is on its way. So overall, from everything I've seen from Madden NFL 17 so far, all the changes that have been included so far that have been released and or known, either via blogs or the devs themselves. How do I feel about Madden 17 as of July 3rd, 2016? I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. Now, before I said I was paper excited, again, I'm really paper excited, if that makes any sense, or very paper excited. From what I've seen on the gameplays, it has looked pretty darn good, if I must say. And there's been a lot of improvements that I've seen visually, that I've seen gameplay-wise, presentation-wise, that just makes it look really, really good. For instance, I do like the new intros. I do like the player intros. Like you see like the offensive line get it, do a little pose, and then you have like the running backs and the wide receivers do a little pose, and then you have the quarterbacks getting their own little special intro and stuff like that. So that's pretty dope, not gonna lie. Zones definitely look noticeably improved. I see a lot of zones kind of actually go straight to their zones. Maybe they take a step in and then go, but zones definitely look to be improved, especially with matching and stuff like that, and these new zone concepts that they're trying to bring in. It definitely is noticeable, so that makes me happy. The ball physics is definitely noticeable as well. Especially there was a couple of videos where you see the tip ball animations or the swap ball animations come up to play with the balls kind of tipped up. There's one that was really cool that I wanted to point out. I think there was like the Broncos and the Panthers, and one of the guys, I don't know if it was Mark Sanchez, he threw the ball to the receiver and the corner went to go get it, and it bounced off the Broncos receiver's leg, and Luke Kuechly came to intercept it. It was pretty dope seeing that. That was really, really cool. Another one that was really good was it was like a short trailer that EA had released, and it was the Dolphins and the Patriots. And the ball, I think Brady tried to throw to Gronkowski, and the ball got tipped up or swatted up or volleyballed up, and then there was just the interception off that. So that was really, really cool to see. So I'm glad they're improving that as well. The run game actually looks improved as well, even though it's slightly different. It definitely seems interesting to actually look at how the run game has progressed in Madden 17. The under center run blocking game has definitely improved. And that was probably one of the biggest weaknesses of Madden 16 was under center, anything outside of inside zone and fullback dive, and even a toss sometimes. The run blocking was too perfect, and everything else was just kind of just hit or miss because the offensive line could not target, or just missed their blocks or kind of like veered off course to somebody that didn't need to be blocked. But it's interesting to see now that the running game has actually improved under center. There's a good couple of runs where I think they're either in strong guy or under center or something like that, or I formation, and Todd Gurley just busted a big gain like right down the middle too. It was fantastic to actually see that in Madden NFL 17. So it gives me some hope that there's going to be a lot of variety in schemes. Now, let's talk about the interviews real quick. Now, out of all the interviews I've seen, there's 3 people or a group of people and 2 individuals that need to be recognized on this show, and that is Madden Bomber League. These guys have been knocking it out as far as interviews are gone, especially all the way going back to E3 EA Play. They have been providing some quality interviews. Sim F Ball Critic, he's constantly there at the interviews, or excuse me, at the events, and he usually gets some very good interviews on that. So big shout outs to him. There's also an AMA going on, I think, from the Reddit community. And I believe this guy named King gave a 48-minute video, or uploaded a 48-minute video, and had a devs like I think it was Rex Clint and I believe John White from the CFM side of the house, and they kind of sat back and asked questions or answered the questions that the community had. And some of them were pretty much direct shots at the developers. Not gonna lie, there was some pretty interesting questions on that one. But the developers kind of sat back, answered the questions, kind of calm, collected. Like, hey, some things we wanted to get to this year we didn't get to. Some things we're hoping to get into next year, or we thought about that, but we took it out because X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool actually seeing that the developers answering direct community questions, not just like the kind of powder professional questions that you see sometimes for interviews, but just more so direct community questions was a huge interview for me. I think that was probably the best interview I've seen, not gonna lie. So in each interview that I noticed, there has been a consistent message that has been said pretty much in about most, I'll say about 90% of the interviews. So one thing that's for sure is that is competitively focused this year for Madden NFL 17, especially with our esports events knocked out of the way for Madden NFL 16. This year is going to be competitively focused, hardcore, catered to the hardcore community, I should say. And even Rex himself has stated multiple times in each interview that if you cater to the hardcore community, the masses will follow. And I think that's a great mindset to have, especially for me as a competitive player, because these are the guys that drive Madden NFL 17. These are the guys that are promoting Madden NFL 17, whether it's via YouTube, Twitch, or representing Madden in the tournament scene in the world of esports. These are the guys that are going to be driving your product. So I wholeheartedly agree that competitive focus needs to be the way in Madden NFL 17. And even then, too, there's definitely now a new sport or esports push going on, especially since Peter Moore announced that $1 million are going to be in total cash prizes for Madden NFL 17. Oh, yeah, best believe a lot of eyes are going to be on Madden NFL 17. Not only just from Twitch, ESPN, since they got their brand on it for Madden NFL 16, a lot of folks are going to be watching Madden NFL 17. And what that means is the more eyes, the more scrutiny, and even sometimes the more praise. So hopefully the continuous development that they're going to be doing for Madden NFL 17 just continues to increase the product, especially, like I said, hopefully no issues or no major issues occur. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And I just hope we don't have a situation where we had the 3-4 even the dying flat era of blitzes, where it was just practically just screamers all day, every day, no matter what. It seems like they fine-tune that. And just hopefully, too, like when it comes to patches that, the zombie formations, as I like to call them, don't come back. So what I mean by that is every year seems like 4-6 normal after like the first patch. It's usually after the first or second patch. It usually is 4-6 normal, 3-4 even, dying flat. Psycho comes back maybe towards the later part of the year like it did this year. Those type of things kind of go away permanently this time around, or they don't work nearly as well as they used to. So we'll see how that goes when that time happens. So I wanted to eat some humble pie real quick, and this isn't. I will say this up front. I don't regret my criticisms towards EA. I do, however, acknowledge a change of mindset that I do have, especially towards the developers, and the fact that they actually listen. Now, for me, I'm hardwired like this. This is just me as a person. There's nothing I can do to change that, except have a better mindset of this in the future. But my biggest thing was for me that I promote a lot of good ideas, or at least try to, at least in a professional manner. And a lot of times, at least in my opinion, that a lot of times the guys at EA, even though Frex and Clint, a few of those guys follow me, that they didn't listen to my ideas. They would have acknowledged it, okay, and then just keep going. You know what I'm saying? So one of those things, I went back to my Brutal Honest video of Madden NFL 16. And I kept it. I was thinking about cursing in that video. Not gonna lie, I was thinking of really, really going in on this, but I decided not to. Just kind of kept it professional, and in that sense, I feel like I did a lot better. Or actually, I'm more happy with the fact that I didn't curse in that video than I did if I would have cursed. But in that Brutal Honest video, going back to it, I actually highlight a lot of things that needed to be fixed from Madden NFL 16 that are actually fixed in Madden NFL 17. So, for instance, the zone coverage and zones in general need to be fixed. Guess what? We have brand new zone concepts. Commentary, I said that needed to go. I was getting tired of Jim Nance and Phil Simms. Guess what? Adios, they're gone. So now we have Brandon Gowden and Charles Davis now. Playbooks, which I'm going to hit on later on. This is another reason I'm eating some humble pie here. Definitely needed to be fixed. With the audibles, guess what? They're fixed. Now there was two issues I said. It was like the interception, the drop picks issue. That one's kind of TBD because I didn't see I didn't see any gameplay of user versus user in terms of Madden NFL 17. I heard there was some at E3 and post play and stuff like that. And it got really competitive and stuff like that. So I'll put that TBD because I haven't seen any on YouTube. And then competitive. Is the game competitive at all? Again, it seems like the shift is focused on competitive play, so I'm hoping. So I'm also going to put a TBD, or to be determined, on this one, just because, again, I haven't had the chance to play the game yet, and I'm going to be kind of playing the game when the Masters get the game. But hopefully, I'm just going to put a hopefully yes, check mark, or fixed, but we'll see. Now, Playbook Changes is probably like the biggest thing I'm going to eat humble pie on. And for me, if y'all know anything about me when it comes to Madden and what I care about the most, it's two things. It is the gameplay, second, and the playbooks first. I am a big proponent of X's and O's. I am also a big proponent of variety of playbooks in the game of Madden. Because for me personally, this is just me being honest here, I get tired of playing the same scheme over and over and over and over and over again in Madden NFL 16, and just even in previous Maddens too. And for instance, a lot of times you would play on offense, or on offense especially. You see the Saints, you see the Patriots, you see the Browns, you see the who else is a big one? The Rams now is getting popular. The Seahawks with their fullback died, or the glitchy fullback died, which I heard was removed. Thank God. That's kind of getting past. But you see my point. You see the same offenses, same formations. For a while, it was the split close. That was extremely popular. Then we got the tight slots. That was extremely popular. Gun bunch now with the verticals, and you can kind of like send the guy outwards and kind of loop, or one of the verticals that kind of does it like a little looping or whatever. On the right side, you can just loop one of those guys, or send them out on the outside and get a speed burst on the outside, stuff like that. That was kind of annoying. The tight offset has become extremely annoying now. We're just inside zone, and I think the drive out play. But you get my point. It's getting tired of seeing the same play. So what these guys have done, which made me one of the things I majorly pushed for this year, just completely all in push out for, was the fact that the audibles really killed a lot of playbooks this year. Especially if you go look at all the playbooks in Madden NFL 16, the playbooks that you were used to seeing in the past not getting so much love this year was because of one play and one audible only, and that was the halfback draw out of gun. That killed so many playbooks. Now, for me personally, as somebody that promotes variety, it was kind of disheartening. And playbook breakdowns, this was kind of disheartening to basically say, like, well, this playbook is good, but if you really wanted to get the max size playbook, you had to change the audible. If you're playing ranked or CFM or something like that, change the audible from halfback draw to inside zone, and there you go. The formation is a little bit better this time. It's kind of disheartening for me. But now that the halfback draw is getting officially removed, and which means that which means that the halfback draw is going to be replaced by another run. We don't know what that is. We don't know if it's inside zone. We don't know if it's off tackle, halfback base, whatever the case may be. The run game is improved. Let's just say that for Madden NFL 17, the run game is definitely improved, which means, and inside zone, I would imagine, has been nerfed a little bit, which means playbook variety is going to be prominent in Madden NFL 17. Now, are people going to still run a lot of the same schemes that ebooks promote and stuff like that? Yeah, I'm anticipating that, not going to lie. But is it going to be to the point where now we're not just seeing the same 5 or 6 schemes? Now people can be different if they choose to be different? Yes. So, for instance, I've written down, I think, 5 playbooks. If everything was the same from Madden NFL 16 to Madden NFL 17, I'm just assuming this. I don't know for sure. But if everything was the same, the top 4 or 5 playbooks that probably would honestly change the most and or be prominent in Madden NFL 17 are, the first one is the Jacksonville Jaguars playbook. This playbook got the shaft. Not gonna lie, this playbook got the shaft from the halfback draw so much in Madden NFL 7 or 16. This is probably going to be the most improved play, if not probably the top 5 playbook now that the halfback draw is going away. In my playbook breakdowns or just reviews and rankings of playbook breakdowns, or excuse me, and playbook rankings, that the Jacksonville Jaguars had potentially the top 5 book in Madden NFL 16 if it wasn't for the draws. Now, if you took the halfback draw and inserted a different run to whatever you wanted, it was the top 5 book. It had everything. You had a nice gun bunch. It had a nice pistol game. It had a nice under center formation or nice under center formations. Everything was good in the book. It's just the halfback draw killed it. Steelers were my second one, and the Steelers book has consistently been good for passing over the years. But when it comes to running, they weren't nearly as good. But now, again, halfback draw goes away. Steelers book might make a return. Not gonna lie, they still had the best 5 wide in the game with the empty X Steeler. Just by far the best, just for what you can do, variety, types of play calls, stuff like that. Looking for them to make a return back. Chargers were another one that was kind of huge. Now, the Chargers has probably one of the best gun spread formations in the game. Now, if they put an inside zone on that gun spread from the Chargers, oh my goodness, that formation is going to be so good. And it's not going to be like, oh, it's OP, take it out. No, it's going to be so good and so tough to stop, because if they do it right, it's so, like, if the San Diego Chargers, basically, I think like the San Diego Chargers and I think the Arizona Cardinals have the best gun spread in the game, and combine that with a good run audible besides draw, it's going to be so good to see the San Diego Chargers book come back to life here in Madden NFL 17. The Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys always have been in that fringe playbook that could be good, but audibles kind of killed it. Now, I would imagine they're the same because nothing changed out of the head coach and staffs. But now with the audibles changing, Cowboys might actually make some noise, especially with their, I think, 3 gun empty formation. I think it was like empty cowboy, empty trips, and I think like empty Y flex. I think it was. I'm not sure on this one. They're looking to be another book that rises to the top here in terms of rankings and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see them. For Madden NFL 17. And then one more is that I have down the Atlanta Falcons. Assuming nothing changes with the Atlanta Falcons, that was another book that was really, really good this year in terms of just plays overall and the variety of plays. Again, audibles killed it this year. So, again, recapping here, Jacksonville Jaguars, Steelers, Chargers, Cowboys, and Falcons. That is on my top 5 predictions on playbooks that you should be looking out for in Madden NFL 17 to make a significant rise in the rankings as far as how I rank playbook break or the playbooks themselves. Again, this halfback draw audible being removed from gun is probably one of the best things that's happened to Madden NFL 17. Besides gameplay and everything else, that is probably one of the best things to happen in NFL 17. I'm glad they listened to me. I will acknowledge that the devs actually listen. Even Clint even poked some fun at me. He said something like, "It's crazy," it seems like the crazy dev team actually listens. So. Shout out to Clint for the little poke and jab, man. But I will acknowledge this is from me, Mr. Skepticism, that the dev team actually listens, and I'm glad they listen. It makes me feel good that the stuff that I'm putting out there for content or trying to get content and changing it into Madden NFL 17 is finally being recognized by the dev team. It feels good. I'm not gonna lie, it feels fantastic. Makes me feel like, hey, I should do that more often, and hopefully in the future I definitely continue to provide more feedback and stuff like that, and constructive criticism, and even hopefully one day I hope to actually and honestly meet these guys either at an event or get invited down to EA personally, just to talk ideas, to kind of see where their mind is going into Madden 18 or something like that, or provide feedback for Madden NFL 17 at some point in time. So that's my hope and goal. If you guys, if the devs are listening to this, hey, hopefully when I come back to the States, we can make that happen. So other than that, guys, overall, let's just talk every single thing overall. Again, super paper excited, if that makes any sense. Unfortunately, I wish I could have went to E3 and get my hands on the game, but from what everything is saying, from all the gameplays, from all the interviews, from all the post E3 videos and changes that are happening in Madden NFL 17, it looks to be a very good year for Madden. It looks to be, and hopefully it is. We needed a very good game of Madden for like a long time now, so hopefully, especially with the competitive focus, with the playbook changes, with gameplay changes, with new mechanics, SWAT mechanics, presentation improvements, equipment upgrades, all that stuff, Madden NFL 17 looks to be hopefully the best Madden we've seen in the coming years, or excuse me, in the past few years that we've been playing the game of Madden. So we'll see how that goes. On that note, guys, once again, this ends season 1 of the Phoenix Palace podcast. Again, season 2 will be coming out in the next couple of weeks once I figure out some technical issues and some small issues. Season 2 will be released, but I encourage everybody to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/DBlackPhoenix. The links are going to be in the description below for YouTube, and make sure just to check me out. Like I said, you'll be knowing when I'm going live from Twitch. You'll be also knowing when I'm going to be uploading videos. Real quick, again, shout outs to Madden Bomber League, Sim F Ball Critic, and King for their videos for interviews on Madden NFL 17. Shout outs to the dev team, Rex, Clint, and those boys, Will Sykes, RG, Anthony White, for listening to my feedback and concerns. I definitely appreciate you guys. Continue to do the good work that you guys do. Even if a lot of people don't say it, hey, you got somebody that says that you got somebody that actually has a change of mindset that the devs actually listen. There you go. So on that note, guys, I will see you guys in season 2 for the Phoenix Palace podcast. I'm out. 5Gs, y'all. Peace.